Dangerously Close. This episode was brought to you by William Mitchell Audio. Now, normally I'd tell you to check out that company, but instead, this time I'm telling you to check out this trailer for their new podcast they created called Cemetery Tales. Here it is.
Let's talk about the Tomb Watcher, and specifically his Tomb Watcher's Cemetery Tales. This man plunders all manner of horror. He presents stories about all kinds of unsavory characters who perform unconscionable and, for some, unspeakable acts. He knows you want to hear of the hot heat of holocausts, harrowing howls of hell's harlots, the depraved, devilish deeds of desperate, dickwad, dirtbike degenerates, the vim and vigor and vicious violence of vice-ridden vagabonds, perverted priests, maniacal minstrels, and murderous mothers and merry mansions run rampant with sordid psychopaths, caverns and caves and garish graves, pernicious pedagogues selling psychedelics to students, draconian drug jurisprudence, a witch hunter's lust, a poisoned pie crust. It's a wild time. And there, at the legendary Hellmouth, you can have a seat of your own and do what the Tomb Watcher suggested. Ponder what waits behind the theater curtains of oblivion. On October 24th, episodes 1 and 2 are making their debut. You don't want to miss this. Find it on Instagram at one word, Tomb Watcher's Cemetery Tales, or look for it on YouTube.
And we're rolling. Very first guest on the Halloween Spooktacular is Nancy Gorman from Nova Halo. What's up, Nancy?
Hey, thanks for having me back.
And I guess a moment ago, I introduced you to my co-host for the day, Zach Wilkinson.
Hey, Nancy. Good to hear from you.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
He was on episode 10. He was the chef episode.
Ooh, cool.
But now he's a farmer.
Hmm.
As far as I can tell, it definitely pays a lot better than being a chef. So go you, Zach.
Thanks, Doug.
But back to Nancy. Thank you for coming on the Halloween Spooktacular.
Whoa.
Eh.
Okay. Anyway, I'm ready to get scared. Big reason why Zach is here is so that he can hold my hand when I do get very frightened by your story. So
try to keep him from peeing his pants a little bit, you know.
Without further ado, would you share with us?
What's your spooky London story?
Yeah. What's this? Oh, and I know London's a spooky ass town.
It was kind of hard to pick because I've got a couple and I've actually written it down because I don't really want to tell it wrong. And I've considered sharing it in some kind of documented format before, but never really got to it. I did have like a poltergeisty one, but I know that Dom has a really, really cool one like that. So I'll just get on with my one. So I'll start with a disclaimer. The story ends really conveniently, although in quite a frustrating way. I'm not concluded anything from this story. This is what happened and that's it. Right. So it was in the daytime. It was a bright evening. I remember it was the 26th of May, 2012. And I had this rare opportunity of a free house. And I don't know about you guys. I'm not saying it is this way, but I feel like some thoughts are yours and some sort of feel like they get sent to you. And I feel like this one was sent to me. I'd never sing in front of my family, and I had this thought to just make a video singing, which wasn't really a habit of mine. So anyway, I get my compact camera because I had a brick phone at the time. I don't even remember if phones were good at video or sound then. I don't know.
Like
real
a
question,
flip phone?
Yeah, what does brick phone mean in England? Because
So it's like, you know, like the grey Nokia phone with Snake, very good.
Oh, okay.
The old school one, yeah.
You charge it like once a week.
In America, like when we say brick phone, we mean the one from the 1980s, like
Saved by the Bell,
like
yes,
stuff.
Like the one that's like
it
literally is almost the size of a brick. Are you talking about? You had one of those?
Oh no, yeah, no, that is a proper brick phone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I was
Yeah.
like, I know you're younger than me, and I was like, how the hell did you have a brick phone? Were you?
I was just talking
Yeah.
about one of those, with the snake on it. It was like the best game ever back in middle school. Like,
Yeah, I had one of those
Yeah.
phones.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Nancy. I just to clarify what a brick phone was.
No, this is what makes it fun. My story might end up rubbish. I hope not. Anyway,
I'm already scared.
so I set up the camera and I put it on the living room windowsill, and I sat on the floor in front of it and I sang the song Black and Gold by Sam Sparrow. And in retrospect, I find this a bit appropriate, maybe. So anyway, I did my take and I pick up the camera and I start watching the playback. And I can't remember at what point in the song it was. I think it was like just after the first verse. But anyway, what appeared on the screen behind me, like on the right side of me at the back of the room in the far corner, was this very thin, very tall, elongated body of light. And at no point was this body stationary. Like, it had very defined limbs, and it skipped diagonally across the room from like behind me on my right to the corner beside my left. So it like went across the room. And the top of its head and its hands and feet were kind of like faded at the edges, but the limbs were really clear. And actually, I remember the head was really long, and the tops of it sort of appeared almost kind of spiky. But anyway, when I saw this, I just froze. And but what's nice for me is sort of at the moment that it disappeared on the screen, and it was only on the screen for like 3 to 4 seconds, my mum just happened to pull up on the drive. So I was like, sort of like how I feel now, thinking about it, just all this adrenaline. I was so freaked out, but I was really excited to show it. So I said I had something to show her, and I played her back the video, and in the kind of way when you pause it and you just move through like each frame. And she just said, yeah, I see it. I didn't tell my siblings, but I think my mum told my dad, and apparently when she went up to bed that night, he said, don't leave me with the ghost.
So you got Slender Man on camera.
Oh,
yeah, kind of. It was actually a lot nicer than Slender Man, because this body, it was like, I mean, it was all light, and it I mean, there was nothing like that like resembled clothes. It was kind of skeletal, but I remember like it looked so joyous in the video, like it danced, like sort of skipped by, like there was nothing.
You feel like you're describing me.
You made the ghost happy.
I mean, yeah, it looked like it was like joining in with, because I think the song is a nice song, and you know, it was vibing.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was cool.
You like got this ghost to come out through your singing almost.
What's crazy about this is actually
conjured him.
Dude, my mom has a story so much like this.
Really?
From in San Diego, she was taking photographs of this house that was like supposedly haunted and blah 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 blah. And then later on, when she was looking at the film, and she's like, "Oh, there's like this kind of like a light, kind of like a smudge type thing." And then she had her friend who was like, "Yeah, he had this like dope ass computer set up where he could like really really zoom in and get like a clear thing." And they zoom in, and it was like legit. It was like a human figure, but like in light form. That was just in the back of the photo. So that's some gnarly shit.
I want to ask you this, Nancy. Have you ever heard or considered yourself as an indigo child?
It's funny because that around that period in my life, I'd become aware of all that those sorts of concepts and things.
I'm left out here. What the fuck does that mean?
So indigo child is one within our like generation. I think I'm on the cusp of the end of it. And if I gauge correctly, Nancy, we're probably about the same age. I'm 33.
I'm not far from that. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're on like the cusp of it. But from my understanding, indigo child is one that kind of sees into the ethereal plane, like especially in dream states. And as I was growing up, I've had a couple of, I consider myself an indigo child, where I've had a couple of instances like that, never caught on video like you were fortunate enough to do, but it's kind of, you know, you have the ability to like kind of see into the dream ethereal planes, if you will. So
well,
that's kind of what it sounds like to me, that you conjured up this spirit out of the ethereal planes with your singing.
well, I'm just getting goosebumps, like waves of goosebumps from what you just said, because it's I don't actually think that this was like a ghost, because it was humanoid but not really human. And in the years like since this happened, I've come across similar descriptions from people with a similar kind of subscription to those ideas. And I mean,
it's a real
I'll
thing.
let you know, I'll let you know about this, because it ends kind of in a very frustrating way. So I was so excited to upload this video. I don't even know if this was by my own ignorance or just having poor tech or what, but when I uploaded the video, the whole room behind me was completely black. Like there was nothing. And I thought, well, you know what? I can still see it on the camera, but I thought like, well, I put it on my computer, and well, I had this idea that maybe there must be some kind of way I can tweak this video to get it to show eventually. I don't know, I was complacent, or, I mean, I can't, what's the point in saying, oh, I could have this, could have that, it didn't happen. So anyway, I left it on my hard drive. Not too long later, my computer got sick and just completely wiped it of everything, and there was no way to salvage it. I'm still heartbroken over it, but more so because I lost like thousands of pages of journaling. But I just feel like, well, I don't know, this is what happened. Yeah, it's weird. I didn't get any bad vibes from this thing at all, but I remember I couldn't really sleep that night. I was so alert and like so wowed by it. But also on what you bring up about the indigo stuff, around that sort of time I was really heavily like experimenting with lucid dreams and attempting astral travel, and I felt in them in like those, in about a space of 3 years, and that sort of time around in the middle of it, I had a very heightened kind of lucidity in my life at that point, which I've not had or felt the resources to reclaim in years, really. I don't think it was an accident that it happened during that kind of time.
I don't think so either. No.
It's really fun to share.
Yeah, looks like he's in the astral projection thing for sure.
I mean, yeah, dude, I don't know if I talked to you about this, Nancy, like when I feel like I didn't even introduce you properly, because you were on episode 12, right? That was the number?
Yeah, it was 12.
Yeah, and it was really, really fun. And I don't know, we talked about a lot of fun stuff. We talked about a lot of like astrology and cool shit like that. But did I ever tell you that like I got super into lucid dreaming for a long time? Like,
no, because I would have definitely got excited about it.
I practiced it like as a thing that I was like doing the, you know, like the daily practice, what you do in your conscious waking life to make it where you can do that in your dreams. But you know what happened to me, man, is I would get spooked out because like creepy shit would happen like in a dream that I was fully conscious in, and then I would wake up and I would get this vibe that I brought some shit back with me. And it is not like your story where I was like, oh, like it's I played a beautiful song and it made a ghost dance. It was always like I was going like near like where all the evil spirits were in my dreams, and they were like coming back.
Oh, God.
But
well, no. So and then I feel like I just recently learned that lucid dreaming was an actual practice, because I felt like it was just something that happened to you growing up. So I grew up like, as long as I remember, still to this day, I have like night terrors, and that's part of what I experience as being lucid dreams. But also have what people call deja vu, but I think it's more than that, where I have these lucid dreams where I'm active in them, and then I wake up, and then the same thing happens. So it's almost like predictions. I feel.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll get back to the lucid dreaming. I didn't know that was even a practice. It just kind of happened to me. And that's going back to the indigo child thing, because they also say you're not supposed to be able to dream something you've never seen. But when I was a child, before I'd ever seen any kind of horror film or R-rated movies, I would see blood, guts, and gore like in my dreams.
Yeah.
Kind of transferred in these day and age to more like reality, if you will.
Yo, this episode is spooky as fuck. No, but just to talk about just for people like listening to like with that lucid dreaming thing and being a practice. Obviously, anyone can have a lucid dream. It happens to most people where you have a dream, you realize you're dreaming while it's happening. But there are a bunch of techniques you can use in your daily life that become habitual, and it creates a habit. And that habitual effect is something that eventually you will accidentally start doing in your dream life because it's so ingrained. And that's how you train yourself to lucid dream frequently. For me, it was something I abandoned and really wanted to get away from because I wasn't really having that much fun. I was getting like a lot of sleep paralysis, which is where your body wakes, but your mind wakes, but your body is still paralyzed.
Oh shit.
That's scary as hell. I've never had that.
Oh my God, I just remembered another story, but I don't know if we have time, but this
Nancy,
is kind of...
I've always got time for you. Well, I mean, I don't have all the time for you. We
got time for one more story.
We got.
I want to hear the story.
Yeah, we have time for you to tell one more story.
I think we got time.
So that is.
We'll make time for you, Nancy.
Hey, let's take a vote, man. Co-host. All right, I vote yes. Another story.
I vote yes.
All right, that's 2.
Yay! Okay,
100%.
this is more on the scary side and also kind of gross. So about a year ago, I stayed in a house where my friend invited me over. She was dog sitting for someone for about 2 weeks. So we got to stay in this really nice house. And I had my own room and I went into the room and, it was like bedtime. And I woke in the night and I've had sleep paralysis before, but never like this. Thankfully, my experiences weren't too terrifying in the past. Like I'd be aware what was going on and I'd be like, just stay calm, just go back to sleep. No, or so anyway, but this was not like that at all. I woke up and I remember, so I was on my back and my head was like on my right shoulder and I felt a woman lying like against me with her kind of head in my like left collarbone kind of area, like slumped on me. I felt her hair. And I thought, what the hell? Like Nina has come into my bed. Like Nina's my friend, but I couldn't move, and I didn't want to move because it was so scary, and she was doing some kind of inappropriate things, and I was just, I was thinking, I know, like this is crazy, and I oh my God, she was pinching me as well, like really, really hard. It was, I can't tell you, it was so painful and I couldn't scream like at all. I thought this isn't fair. If this is a dream, my brain's meant to be on my side. What the fuck, man?
Man,
you felt that physically?
I literally didn't want to actually get scared. I thought it would just be funny. No,
I'm kind of scared.
But for someone that personally has experienced so much sleep paralysis because of my lucid dreaming practice that I did for almost 2 years, what you're describing to me, I'm like, yeah, no, I know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. That shit it feels so real. And like, how do you know if it's your brain or what?
It was crazy. And I remember, unfortunately, of course, I went back to sleep. The next day, I remember my friend's boyfriend was moaning about something, and I just said, yeah, well, you didn't get sexually harassed by a ghost last night, so
I kind of want to get sexually harassed by a ghost.
No, you don't, man.
but yeah, it's funny because I hear about people having these experiences putting them off. For me, that was my issue. What kind of, it didn't really put me off, but I guess I got complacent. I think that lucid dreaming is, I know I've kind of switched subject there, but it's absolutely fantastic for your memory. I don't know about for you guys, but vastly improved my memory, and I was doing the recall thing, and you just remember more and more and more, and it was just taking up so much of my time. I could not keep it up. I couldn't keep it up, man. But I'd love to do it again. I think you can have so much fun.
I don't know why this. I mean, obviously I know exactly why this popped into my head, because you guys were talking about getting some inappropriate shit with a ghost, and it made me think about the original Ghostbusters movie when like Dan Aykroyd has sex with a ghost. You remember that? even as a
Throwback.
kid, even as like a kid, like especially like, you know, like a teenage boy, like I was just so like, yo, man, this doesn't belong in this movie.
Yeah, this is not right.
Like this is not what this is supposed to be fun, man. This is just
well, I mean, in my lucid dream states and in my experiences, I'd much rather have the experience that you had than most of the ones that I've had, because most of mine were, like I said before, real intense, like horrific stuff. So getting sexually harassed sounds better than seeing people burn and shit, you know?
Yeah, it goes without saying that Dan Aykroyd highly misrepresented what the experience of ghost
fornication. Are we talking about ghost fornication now?
I don't know, man. We're just trying to be spooky.
It's just trying to be spooky. I think we got a little spooky.
Nancy, thank you so much for calling in for
Thanks so
Spooktacular.
much.
Nancy, it was great talking to you.
Lovely talking to you guys.
I hope that we can do another thing in the future where you come back again, because it's always so amazing speaking with you. You're always so fun, and I hope you're doing fantastic in London, in the most haunted city in the world.
Thanks so much, guys.
Bye, Nancy.
Bye.
Bye.
We're rolling. What's up? Welcome, Brynn Plummer from episode 15. One of the most popular episodes of the entire podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, no, you're like up there.
Wow.
You're killing these fucking people, man. Just every day, like every single day you get downloads. It's fucking awesome.
No way. That's great.
But once again, I just want to say this is the Halloween Spooktacular. I have a co-host for the first time ever here in studio. This is Zach Wilkinson. He was my guest on episode 10. He was a chef, and now he's a farmer.
Oh, dope.
And so do you have a spooky... another reason why he's here, as I said before, is because I get scared very easily. And so
I'm going to hold his hand.
I need a...
change his pee pants when it happens.
I wish you could stand up how fucking big he is. Zach, stand up and just like see if you can see in the Zoom call.
I don't know.
This is great podcast material.
Like, check it out. I'm standing up too, and so like, see where his hip is. So like, my head is like around like his dick level.
It's a personal freak show going on there.
That would only make me 4 feet tall. So you're whatever. Okay.
This is already great.
Brynn, I cannot wait to hear your spooky story and get really, really terrified and use it as an excuse to kind of like put my hand on Zach's knee.
He just wants to cuddle me.
Well, obviously I want to cuddle, but it's because I'm scared.
Yeah.
All right.
So give me more reason for Doug to cuddle me.
Okay, I don't know if mine's scary. It's more unsettling.
Ooh. I love cuddling when I'm unsettled.
I don't know how I feel about that.
No, it's like you're the big spoon.
I'm always big spoon. Okay. Well, yeah. Tell us your unsettling story, please.
Okay, my unsettling story. My dad grew up in New Orleans, and if you grow up in New Orleans, you just grow up with spooky things that are just part of your life.
Oh, I got family in Slidell.
Oh, yeah, Slidell.
I grew up going down there, yeah.
Heck yeah, like Lake Charles, Slidell, all around there.
Yeah, Slidell, yeah, it's Lake Charles, yeah.
And so, it's like basically spookiness is a cousin or an uncle who's just part of the family tree. Yeah, there's just spirits and phantoms and all kinds of stuff. So he's told us a lot of stories that we thought were make-believe or just whatever. And then they were as we got older, they got substantiated by our grandparents as we got closer to our grandparents, And so one story he told us that we always thought was fake, but then my mom all substantiated was she used to braid hair for like different ladies in the neighborhood. Like she was a school teacher, but that was something she would do on the side. And so there was an old woman who she braided her hair for. She was like in her 90s. And She had seen this woman for pretty regularly for every couple weeks or so for years and years and years. And a big storm was coming. I want to say it was Hurricane Betty. And a big storm was coming. And so everyone was like locking down their houses, putting up, barricades, sandbags. People were evacuating that. Well, back then people didn't really evacuate for a hurricane. You just kind of buckle down.
I have a question. I know this is not super important, but I'm just really curious because I don't remember that name, Hurricane Betty. What?
That was back in 95.
This was the 70s.
So okay, the 70s. That's why. That's old.
Yeah, this is old. My dad was born in 54, and he was maybe a child teen at the time. So probably late 60s, probably 60s, late 60s, early 70s. Hurricane Betty. I should have dated it before, but I didn't date it. Ooh, sorry.
That's cool. I just was like, am I dumb because I don't know this hurricane?
Let me get my almanac and just go back.
I remember hearing about it from my family, but that's why I said 95 because I felt like I was alive for it. But I spent so many years cleaning up hurricanes from my grandma's house that I can't keep track.
It could have been any one of. It could have been any one.
Yeah,
doesn't New Orleans have a gnarly ass hurricane every year anyway?
They just had St. Charles just got ripped apart.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent. So, and back then
started to jump off on the hurricanes.
Let's talk about climate change for a second. Let's talk about how you engineer a city that's below, sea level. Let's talk about all those things.
Brynn, you remember from last time speaking with me that we can't stay on the rails for more than 1 second because there's something about our dynamic. And now that
especially with me in the mix,
you, me, and Zach, it's going to take us. All right, you know what? Me and Zach, we're both going to be very quiet, and we're going to hear the spooky story.
Yeah, let's get back
to time. I think the dates. I think the dates do matter.
I'm zipping the lips.
For picturing it, picture 60s New Orleans. Let's say that mid to late 60s New Orleans, if you want to picture it in your brain. And so the storm is coming. Everybody's batting down the hatches, all that kind of stuff, getting ready to ride the storm out. And then Mama hears a knock on the door. And she goes and opens the door. And this little woman whose hair she's braided, who's in her 90s, is at the door. And she's like, Willie Lee, I need you to do my hair. And my mama was like, how'd you get here? Because she didn't drive. Mama would go to her house. So she said, how'd you get here? She's like, I just needed to get my hair braided because I'm going home. Mom was like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, yes, you're here. Come on in. Let me braid your hair. And she comes in, she braids her hair. And Mama was like, well, you look great. Why don't you just stay here with us and, you'll ride out the storm with us? Because at this point, the storm is coming. And Mama was really insistent, was like, you really need to stay here. Please stay. We don't know how you're going to get you. No one can take you back across town to where you live. Just stay here with us. And she's like, nope, I got to go. And she straight up walks out of the house and walks. She didn't know where she goes. She just kind of disappears into the rain. Mama didn't think anything about it. And then this hurricane comes. It's horrible. You know how it goes. The cleanup's happening, all that kind of stuff. And Mama was just thinking about how she kept saying she needed to go home. She needed to go home. And so once the storm water recedes, she calls some friends over there on that side of town. She's like, hey, can you go check on so-and-so? And they go to her house. And the lady is lying in her bed, arms crossed over her chest, hair perfectly done, has been dead since before the storm came. The water didn't touch her house, but she knew she was going home. So she went to get her hair braided because she wanted to look nice to go home to die.
So this is where Doug has to hold my hand. I just got goosebumps, dude.
It's so spooky. Dude, he's had so many of these stories.
That's not unsettling. That's spooky.
Yeah, that was exactly. That was a spooky story. That wasn't
unsettling at all.
Unsettling
I'm scared. I just got goosebumps from that story.
A lady knew she was going to die. Yeah, I don't know how she knew. There was nothing wrong with her. She was just like, I know I'm going home and no one's going to be able to get me.
The fact that it happened in New Orleans is just on top of the spooky spectrum.
Yeah.
I've been to New Orleans. I grew up going there and I've seen a lot of spooky shit there. That is on par with New Orleans spooky.
It's just a spooky place. I remember one time we booked right after, it was the day we got married, the day after me and my husband got married, we drove to New Orleans and we were just going to do a mini moon there. And we got put into the hotel. We picked this hotel because it was a cute little boutique hotel. And they put us in the room. And that wasn't the room we'd booked, but we were like, whatever, it's late. And we get in that room and immediately, we just felt something was off. Just the energy wasn't right. It was just something strange was in there. And it felt like a presence, on your person. And we asked them to change our room. And they did. And they gave us champagne, which was nice. But I don't know how they get anyone to stay in that room. Because that room was just you felt the crowd. I'm not very supernatural, but I felt you felt the crowding of something on you that was very, very.
No, there is a thing. There's a vibe, man. There's a thing you can feel where you're like, oh man, I don't like this fucking vibe. When me and my mom, like when I was like younger, and we moved around a little bit and stuff, and we moved into this one old ass place, like we were just renting, and I was like, man, this place is haunted as shit. And my mom is not like, she's not like a person that's like, oh, ghosts, and she was like, no, this place is fucking haunted. Like, you're right. Oh man, I kind of wish we could have her on this podcast, because this is the second time that so you're the second guest today, and this is the second time someone has told me some shit that makes me like literally remember like experiences with my mom, like being a kid.
You should interview your mom.
What?
Just interview your mom. I bet it'll be interesting.
It's too late now, because I didn't book her for the Halloween Spooktacular. Oh no, Brynn, you just turned into a. Oh, you're back.
I got a call. Sorry, I declined.
Oh, I thought a ghost took over your phone.
I know, you
phantom. I don't know if there's anything in this house, but I will say our neighbor. We did find a gravestone in our not a gravestone, but like I think it was a pet like thing when we moved into this house.
Cemetery style, right?
We found a little pet headstone. I love that was in the ground, like a pet thing. It had to be a pet. It was like years. Yeah, it was like an 18-year-old pet, but it was just based on the years.
Actually, I'm gonna like go back and about what I just said. I just said that the new Pet Cemetery was good, but I watched it on a plane where literally anything to get my mind off the fact that I'm sitting in a plane seat forever and ever and ever. So I was just like, yeah, cool. So I'm not sure if I would have loved it if I'd seen it like on a movie theater.
Yeah, we were just sitting there.
I haven't seen that, but interesting side note, interesting fact, in case you're wondering, the flight from Denver to Nashville is the perfect amount of time to watch the entirety of Rise of Skywalker. I learned that yesterday.
Yo, I just saw that movie. Hey, I want to give
it's not spooky at all, but
I want to
just so you know.
I want to say something really controversial, and it's this. I was on this long ass flight, and the movies they had available like in the little movie thing in the seat, like I'd already like seen all this shit. And I was like, all right, I've never seen Detective Pikachu, and guess what?
Oh, I really actually want to see
so fucking bad that I decided I'd rather be bored and watch nothing but like the night sky than watch that shit movie.
Do you not have a book?
Yeah, I always travel with a book just in case.
Yeah, he travels without a book.
Good on there.
I can read.
Doug's an amateur. He's illiterate. He doesn't know how to read.
I do usually with the last time, like most of the time if I get on a plane, if it's less than 2 hours, I immediately put on earplugs, sleep mask, and I tell my sleep neighbor, like, don't disturb me for anything. And I sleep through a flight like that. I fall asleep before we leave the tarmac. But now that I'm getting older, I feel like I need to do something besides just pass out on the plane. Like I feel like I need to use that time productively, but I don't know. I feel like you get a free nap if no one can guilt you about taking a nap on the airplane.
I mean, I don't know.
I'd rather sleep on the airplane.
I hate those seats. They hurt my butt. They're too hard. And I'm like that, like, I'm going to be that old man. Like, I'm still already becoming this, but like the old man that's like just doing like inappropriate stretches in the aisleway.
You know what? So with all this COVID shit, there's a lot of negatives, but one of the positives I found is flying, because nobody can sit next to you.
Oh, that's dope. I should go fly somewhere.
And you get that extra room. You don't have to worry about sitting in between somebody.
No one's talking to you.
Nobody's talking to you. The only down point on the flight is they don't serve booze, but that's why you bring your own airplane bottles if you're smart like me. You know, but just
I haven't flown since COVID.
And a nap. 2 hours later, you're there.
You're ahead.
Here's
One time I did. Hit me.
Oh, just a pro tip? Okay. And honestly, now that I said that, this might not be a pro tip. It just might just be that I've gotten away with it a lot. But in the Nashville airport, because you can't bring your booze in through the security. But once you're in, you can go to the Jack Daniel's distillery store and buy a bottle of Jack Daniel's from them. And from there, you can just take it right on your plane. And then
I think that's a pro tip.
And then I just order Coca-Colas. And I put my bottle right there. And I sit there and I just drink my Jack Daniel's on my way to Seattle. And not once has anyone ever told me not to do it. And
really? Hey, Dilly. Sorry, Dilly's playing with a squeak toy. No squeak toy right now,
It's highly
baby.
illegal, but nobody gives a fuck. They don't get paid.
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
Enforce the airplane.
No.
Like the stewards or whatever, they don't get paid enough to give a fuck. Like,
They definitely don't. That job is hard. I would never want that job.
no, hell no. I got a buddy of
Can you
mine.
guys hear this?
His mom was a steward or whatever for years and years and years, and
Flight attendant,
whatever they're called. But yeah, we always partied at his house because she was never around. But
That would be a hard job to be a parent.
And it's like, it seems cool because you get to fly from place to place, but they don't actually get to enjoy where they go because you land, you go to the hotel room and sleep for 6 hours, and you're back on the plane to another place. Like,
it looks like a really grueling job. The training looks hard, and I just don't think I would enjoy it.
No.
I feel like you probably get some crazy stories, though. I imagine it's one of those jobs like being, I don't know, like a cab driver or something like that, where you just see some things that no one else is privy to seeing. So I imagine you collect some stories along the way if you're a flight attendant.
I'm probably responsible for some of those stories.
Are you like a bad plane person? Yeah.
No, he's a nice boy.
I'm a good boy.
He's a lot on the podcast. Brynn, I have to say, first of all, your spooky story was spooky as shit. And
so spooky.
Honestly, I think that's what sparked us talking about us breaking a bunch of laws on airplanes and shit afterwards, just to try and stop acting so scared.
I know. I had to get out of my spooky element. It literally gave me chills. I'm not even lying.
Holy shit!
What?
Happy birthday, Brynn!
Oh shit! Happy birthday, Brynn!
Thank you. Thank you. Libra power. Well, I enjoyed talking about my scary story.
And also, I'm so stoked that you took some time out of your birthday to hit us up and tell us that scary fucking story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I have so many more. Just I have to go ask my dad. When he woke up, he got a kidney transplant almost exactly a year ago, and when he was feeling well enough, the first thing we asked him to do was tell us scary stories, and he gave us so many more. So that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Sounds like we need to interview him next year.
I think what we should do is...
You don't have enough tape to get all my dad's ridiculousness.
Brynn, you have an open invitation to every Halloween spook. And also, when this pandemic's over, I gotta see you at Hip Hop Karaoke, man.
Yeah, Hip Hop Karaoke. I don't know whenever we'll come back. I've forgotten. That feels like a different life ago. Yeah, once we all get vaccinated, Hip Hop Karaoke's back. Hip Hop Karaoke's back. I feel like we need to do, we've talked about doing a special version where we just play Mystical's Been So Long on loop for 3 hours.
Yeah,
because it feels appropriate. Yeah, and that's just it. So we punk everyone who comes. What it is. Speak of New Orleans, he's at Mystical's New Orleans. Well, I appreciate the invite.
Oh, Brynn, when you hear this episode, I think you might enjoy this. I don't know if you enjoy bounce music, but...
of course I enjoy bounce music.
Of course, duh.
My new intro is bounce influenced. Heavily influenced by Big Frida and other bounce artists.
Yes.
It's actually just some clips of clips from me taken from the show.
And then you put it to a bounce beat.
Yes. Remixing done by Bill Mitchell Audio. Got to shout out that. And also, we got the next guest calling in a minute. So I got to go.
You have to go. Get out of here.
Better go.
Thank you, Brynn. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. It was great to meet you, Zach. Bye, y'all. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hold up. It's time for an ad. So, Zach and I wrote this script last year, and now we are so excited because Netflix picked it up and they're turning it into a Netflix series. Here's the trailer, and we hope you like it. Hey, Zach, did you check out the sale at the outlet mall yesterday?
Yeah, Doug, man, it was fucking awesome, but this lady thought I cut her in line at TJ Maxx, and then she bit me.
No way. The same thing happened to me at the Chick-fil-A in the food court because I was stealing all the packs of honey mustard.
Oh, no shit, yeah. I'm feeling hella weird, but it's probably nothing.
Yeah, you're right. We're fine.
That night.
Doug, coupons. Dear supervisor, I was saving this parking spot. He went to Jared.
Oh, man, what a beautiful morning. I think I'm going to start this day out with a Yelp review. Dear Yelp,
This waiter was so rude. He waited over an hour for our food, and he brought me a sweet tea with no lemon when I had asked for a lemon.
What? That is unacceptable. I hope you asked to speak to the manager.
Well, obviously. Wait, what's up with your hair, man? Why'd you get these long-ass bangs, and it's all short in the back? Did you, like, cut your hair and grow it? What?
I don't think so. I didn't do anything to my hair. Wait, is that a PT Cruiser? I thought you drove a sedan.
Yeah, man, I feel like something's different about me, man.
I feel like I'm more entitled than I was yesterday.
Shut up, Zach. I'm trying to write this Yelp review. These servers will never work again after I'm done with them.
No, you shut up, Doug. I'm calling the police on a barbecue.
I have hypoxia.
My Cobb salad did not have enough dressing.
Whoa, what happened? I had the weirdest dream. I thought we had turned into...
Where'd all these coupon clippings come from?
Bite of the Karen, coming to Netflix this Halloween.
And now back to the interview.
All right, next up, we've got Ramsey Demeter from episode 4. And if you've been listening to this podcast, you know he is a wilderness survival expert. And this dude can go straight up into a slot canyon. And I didn't know what that was, but I found out it's a thing that if you crawl all the way into it and try to get back out, you'll die. But he got back out because you can't kill this man. Nature can't kill this man. Nothing can kill this man. What's up, Ramsey?
Yo, what's going on, Doug? How y'all doing?
Yo, I just want to introduce you to my friend, Zach Wilkinson. He was my guest on episode 10. He was a chef at that time, but now he's a farmer like you.
Fantastic.
Hey, man. Good to meet you, Ramsey.
Hello. Nice to meet you as well.
And thank you for coming on the Halloween Spooktacular. And as I told our past two guests, one of the reasons Zach is here is when I get very scared, I need to like sit very close to a strong entity. Yo, I got a quick ass question for both of you guys. So
yeah,
I know the story. The Slender Man was like a story because like some teenage girls like killed somebody or something because like, it's a comic book. That, like I don't know what
I actually don't know shit about it. All I know is I know it was like a video game.
Oh, okay.
Which I saw like an 8-year-old play some of it, and I was pretty terrified. So I don't know what it was doing to the child imagination.
I thought Slender Man was like an ethereal ghost kind of guy that came around and like haunted people, but I don't know.
I mean, I figure if it was a movie,
I feel like we should look it up.
If it was a movie, yeah, dude. But we don't Google it here, do we? Ask experts. But as a matter of fact, you're an expert mostly in surviving. So
yes, sir.
And also, I guess farming, dude. How's your farm going, dude?
Oh, thanks for asking. Yeah, about 7 months into the farm season now. I actually only have a couple weeks left before I wrap it up, and me and my girl are moving on to other farms. But this season's been pretty great. Honestly, I feel like I've been on it feels like a nature camp or something. Like I live in a trailer. I spend all my time outside. So I'm just like kind of camping the whole time. So that's the vibe.
Sounds fantastic.
What do you grow, man? Like,
I'm sitting in a greenhouse right now with a lot of really nice, it's called Red Rosie. It's a romaine lettuce, it's a vegetable farm.
That's awesome.
What we got going on.
And it's horse powered, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. There's 4 horses here. I can kind of like
the 4 horses are there. That's already spooky, dude.
That is spooky. The 4 horses of the apocalypse.
4 horses.
Living with the 4 horses.
That's right. Right.
Fuck,
is there like a pale rider or whatever?
He is the pale rider. Look at him.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, for real. And also, there's
am I gonna die after this podcast?
Dude, I threw like 50 pumpkins yesterday, so I'm working on
one day.
You grew 50 pumpkins in one day.
Growing. Molotov cocktails can step aside and bring back the flaming pumpkin.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Oh, and
is Linus there from like? Is he waiting on the Great Pumpkin to show up?
Yeah, of course.
Linus Charlie Brown style.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Let's hear this horrifying. I mean, spookifying story.
Spooky.
I got a spookified story for you.
Cool, dude.
All right, so
if you scare me enough, I get to put my hand on Zach's knee. So
I hope you do.
Me too.
About 5 or 6 years, I'm living in the mountains of California in a very prominent weed growing country. And I'm living with my girlfriend at the time. And it's very remote. We're about half an hour down the super long dirt road. There's not a lot of houses out there. We know a few of our neighbors, but there's also, some forks in the road that you really don't want to go down. Like, oh, that might be like where all the tweakers are at, or like rumor has it, like those people will shoot you, that kind of thing. It's not like Murder Mountain, but it's pretty intense. You're fucking out there.
Hey, real quick, just so that people out there listening that don't know what Murder Mountain is, it's correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a place where the government doesn't even go touch because it's so congested with illegal like pot growing activity, right?
Yeah, that's I never saw I think they did a show about it. I never saw it, but just kind of like based on the trailer, you can get the vibe. But yeah, it's like basically a long a really big area that's like really far from any paved road. There's a lot of national forest intermixed with private land, but a lot of it is like these massive marijuana grows by a lot of times like kind of mafia type figures. And it's like super lawless. There's a lot of, gunfights and robberies and all sorts of shit. So security is really hectic out there. Anyway, so it's not quite like that. That's for sure. But, it's the kind of neighborhood like you might hear some guns go off from time to time. Probably just like scaring off bears and shit. But it's definitely like bear, mountain lion, tweaker, weed grower country.
Yo, man, I don't want to interrupt, man. I kind of missed this, dude. Are we talking about like Northern California? Is that where we're at?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. This is 5 years ago. Living in the mountains in Northern California at the time. And
Sierra Nevadas?
The Sierra Nevadas.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
done. I won't interrupt again.
Cool.
I want to set the scene.
This is going to be an hour-long story. All right, cool. We're chilling by the campfire. I like it. We're just telling spooky stories. All right, here we go. So it's a really cold, dark winter's night, moonless. And my lady and I were just getting back from an event that we went to, some concert of some sort at the old schoolhouse. And we see this truck in the ditch of like the long dirt road, right? We've been driving for 20 something minutes on this dirt road, just like pine trees whizzing past us. We've driven down it 1,000 times, whatever, not a big deal. But this truck is like off in the ditch, and I recognize it, and I'm like, oh, that's that dude Angelo's truck. So, little backstory: Angelo, a dude who kind of came to the neighborhood recently, and I think he, had a lot of trouble in his past, but he kind of came to try to like start afresh, new place, new friends, whatever. And he's like trying to like, but he's been like in and out of prison and jail and gotten involved with like some really heavy drugs and bad scenes and blah, blah, blah. And he's already, despite trying to, he's like a pretty funny, pretty nice guy, but also there's like an edge to him that's a little intense. He's the kind of dude that will like, well, let's see, for example, like, I think one time he was bragging about like poaching a deer by like hunted a deer with like a Glock, like a pistol, like shooting it out of his car because the deer just like stopped next to his car.
I don't like Angelo.
Yeah, right.
Fuck this dude.
Yeah, I'm
a
not
little
a fan.
sketchy. A little sketchy.
I'm glad he found his check.
Wait, like did he hunt the deer because he was gonna like eat it, or he shot a deer because he's an asshole?
I think sometimes deer just like they just post up. They'll like, maybe it's like deer in the headlights or whatever, but he like stopped the car and rolled down the window and the deer was just chilling. And so I think he shot it. And then, he definitely like ate it.
Oh, he did eat it.
Yeah, for sure.
He wasn't I thought he was just like, oh, yo, this deer was standing in the fucking road.
So back on track. I want to hear the spooky story.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I was just trying to get a vibe of.
Shut up.
I was trying to get a vibe of Angelo.
Yeah, no, that's an important part. It's the backstory.
Dude.
Angelo, this is Angelo's truck. So another thing about Angelo that I had heard was, we were at a neighbor's house maybe a week before this moment when we're driving back, And the neighbor is like, yeah, so I hired Angelo to like help me do some tree clearing or whatever. I got like some dead trees that blew down in a windstorm and I needed to like get them out, whatever. But he was like, oh, well, I don't have like a proper equipment, but I've got a big truck and I've got like, I know where to get some chains. So I'm going to go get some chains and I'll drag those shits out for you. And so our neighbor is like, all right, sure. Like, whatever, you come back if you can do the job, like I'll pay you for it. And he's like, all right, sweet. So our neighbor told us that. And a couple of days after that, so this is a couple of days before this moment in the story, this is all the background, we noticed while walking around our property, her property, was that on the back road, there's like a main driveway and then there's a back road. And on the back road, there was a chain that we kept across the road so people wouldn't fucking drive up it. Well, the chain was gone one day. We're walking down there, the chain's just fucking gone, stolen, whatever. But then when we were like, wait a minute, fucking homegirl Gina was going to hire Angelo. And he was like, I need to get some chains so I can get this job. So I'm like putting all this shit together. I'm like, that fucking dude, Angelo again. Like, this is fucking nuts. Anyway, so there's Angelo's truck. And we like slow down for a second. But we don't like see him. We don't like see anything. And it kind of looks like it was like broken down or whatever. So we keep driving. Our house is just a couple more minutes and we keep driving. And we're like, you know what? We get home, we park the car. We're like, you know what? We should go check out that truck and see if there's some chains in the back and get our fucking chains back. So we walk from the house with flashlights. We could like wear black clothes and shit. We walk from the house and we're like walking down the dirt road and like, you know, we're ready to bail into the bushes if somebody comes. But really we're trying to like kind of stealthily check out if there's some chains and just get a fucking chain back.
And you're just
like,
getting
whatever.
your shit back, dude. You're not doing anything fucked up.
No, of course not. I mean,
shit.
really, we should have just gotten out of the car and shit right there. But you know, I actually get scared pretty easily, and you know, fucking
right
backwoods tweaker rednecks with guns and shit. You know,
that's the scariest shit ever. Right there.
As a matter of fact, those don't. Yeah, they're spooky in their own right, dude, and they're like alive.
They're not even spooky. They're just straight scary.
No, for real. So we're walking down the road, and it's like quiet. It's late. At this point, it's like midnight, and you know, hear some like owls hooting and shit. The sounds of the forest come alive, and you know, like when you're kind of in that like sort of adrenalized state, and it's like dark, you hear anything and you amplify it. Like it could be like a tree squirrel or some shit, and you think it's like fucking Sasquatch. Like a tiny sound seems like the biggest deal. So your mind really starts to run. And that's definitely what was happening at this time. And we're like ready to bail into the bushes. If we hear a car, if we hear a sound, whatever, we're just like hiding and waiting, checking it out, whatever, stealth mode. So we get closer and closer and closer. And there's the truck. We kind of like dim our like flashlights or whatever, turn them off. If nothing else, it's also like, cool, we're just like out for a night walk because hippies do that, right? Anyway, so hippies do that. That's anyway, true. So like we see the truck kind of in the dark, like getting closer to it, and okay, like my heart's starting to race now because I'm like, what if he's just like chilling, like right there, whatever. Anyway, so we get close, kind of look around, and then I call out, "Yo, Angelo!" Don't hear anything. I'm like, all right, I guess his fucking truck broke down and he got a ride. He's left. So look in the back of the truck, kind of search the truck a little bit, the flashlight. And there's like, I don't know, some crumpled up fucking magazines and shit inside. But in the back, sure enough, dude, there's a fuck ton of chains. I'm trying to find our fucking chain. But here's the thing, like all the chains are like I don't know if it's my chain or not, whatever. This dude has like hundreds of feet of chain at this point, but he had, you know, we just needed like 20 feet. And, but he had like linked them all together or something. So I started like pulling on chain, but like, I just like, it like never ends. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm not going to pull out 200 pounds of chain and try to like hike off with that shit. So I'm like, fuck it, whatever. Like leave the chains, start walking back home. And at a certain point, there's we're like maybe halfway on the walk back home, and this car, we hear a car coming on the dirt road, and we see the headlights in the trees, and we bail into the bushes and just like lay down. Car drives by, a little bit of music playing, whatever. It doesn't stop at the truck. It just keeps going. It's not like Angelo's ride or whatever. It's just a car on the road. Not a big deal. So we get, we're like walking back home, definitely on edge, but like whatever, it's fine. We're just walking home now, not a big deal. But we get back home, and on the front fucking porch, no joke, is like a massive pile of fucking chain that was not fucking there when we left, that we did not fucking put there. It was not our chain, but it was a chain. That's cool. But it was like a long length of chain. And that was fucking scary shit.
So like a mysterious pile of chain just showed up?
Totally. We were fucking there an hour before, or not even. Yeah, or maybe like an hour before getting back from that show. And then we went walking to check out his truck, came back, and there's some fucking chain there. So the whole night, we're like, what the fuck? Like, can't sleep. We're like, fuck it. All right. Like, we're just staying up. And like,
watching you or something?
Oh, yeah, totally. Like,
yo, are those dudes kind of like a gang, too?
No.
Like those meth dudes?
No, I mean, he's definitely like meth dudes, generally speaking, I imagine are. But, like, I'm sure he might have, like, his buddies or whatever. But he kind of, like, rolled pretty solo just because he was fairly new to the area. But, so we're up all night, whatever. Same thing, like, even in the best of times, like, there's a lot of just, like, animals that come out at night in the woods there, and it's just, like, spooky as fuck. So, like, you'll hear, like, deer walking through the dry woods, and it's just, like, hush, hush, hush. So like everything like that was just like, oh shit, like what the fuck?
Especially when you're up there, like in the wilderness. Like I stayed on the farm for a couple nights, and like I was staying up in like this bodega, or not a bodega. Anyway, I was staying up real quick, and then like I would hear critters run by, and it just scares the shit out of you.
For sure. So there's another
dog
twist
was
to this
freaking out.
The final twist to this story. 2 days later, I find out that Angelo is fucking dead. He fucking OD'd on some shit. So I don't know what the flow of events was. His truck, the chains, who the fuck brought chains to us? Like, I don't fucking know. But he was found at his buddy's house, or whatever, and somebody called it in or some shit.
He was found before the chain showed up?
Yeah, dude. Exactly.
That's fucking wild.
Yo.
So I'm like, did like the spirit of Angelo, like the core of goodness that remained in him, fucking return some chains? Or like who else did he take shit from that like randomly got shit back? So,
man, Ramsey, I gotta say,
that's my story.
Yo, dude. I gotta say, like, so you were the third person to come on the Halloween Spooktacular today, and I just knew for some reason, your story was gonna be some gnarly fucking NorCal shit.
Yeah,
man.
that's some fucking like up in the woods type shit. But
it was spooky too, because it's like
it's wild.
It's like bad enough. These those hill folk tweakers, and they're all like armed to the teeth.
So many of them too.
But like a dead man returned your property. That's pretty fucking spooky.
That's pretty brutal.
Yo, Ramsey, I just want to say once again, man, you're one of my favorite people in the entire fucking world, and I'm so fucking glad you came on to tell your story on this Halloween Spooktacular. And anyway,
it was great to meet you. We'll have to link up at NorCal sometime.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
You kept the fucking fire going because everybody's been bringing some spooky ass shit, and I was just hoping yours would be like real gritty, and it was
super gritty.
Oh, dude.
My favorite part about your story was that like I didn't really know where it was going for a minute, and then all of a sudden, bam, in your face.
I guessed it. As soon as he said that,
okay, Doug, you're so cool.
And then his truck was fucking over there, and he wasn't in it.
Yeah,
I immediately knew that he was dead, and I didn't guess the whole story. I guess.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect was Antonio? I didn't expect
Angelo, man.
Angelo. Sorry, I don't know how to hear. I wasn't expecting for him to be dead. And that was fucking wild. So
I just want to say that I did guess that because I'm a very smart person.
Yeah, you're so smart.
Yo, Ramsey.
I can't wait to hear the rest of this episode, man.
It's better.
When
this episode comes, you'll enjoy it because like everybody says some scary shit, man.
Yeah.
And,
fuck yeah.
All right, be good, bud.
Yo, peace, Ramsey.
Peace. Later.
All right. Our last guest today is Dominic Baker. And if you didn't know, Dominic Baker was a guest on episode 9 of this podcast. That was kind of like a rock and roll episode, kind of like a learn about Nashville, learn about fucking being on reality TV.
All the backstage fucking, how many bands have you been in, Dominic? Like fucking 30?
Yeah.
Like,
it was about skateboarding. It was about a lot of modeling with some train hoppers and Hawaii. Yeah. Man, it was a lot of shit, man. Welcome back, Dominic.
Thanks for having me, man. And once again, congratulations on winning Best of Nashville.
Oh, thank you so much, man. And you're the first guest on today that already knows Zach, so we don't do any introductions. You know Zach. You know what's up.
We know all. We've all seen each other in our worst and best situations.
So, Dominic, dude, obviously, when I had the idea to do this episode, you're the first person I had in mind because your story is scary as shit. There are multiple witnesses, and it scares me the most because it's a poltergeist story.
Yeah. It's one of the stories that like actually made me really believe in ghosts and the whole paranormal shit. Like, basically, it started off with like I think I was maybe 15 or 16. We were like started off at the park, and my friend, her name's Turtle.
Your first name was Turtle?
Yeah, her real name is Rachel. And so she's like, hey, like, I have a ghost in my house. Do you want to go meet him? And there was like a bunch of us. We were like, yeah, sure, whatever. You know, so we go over there. And she lives on Bellevue Road, some condo. Anyway, I remember sitting on the bed with my girlfriend at the time. Her name was Annie Boyer. And so you have to put this like in your head, like we're sitting on her, like in the bedroom on her bed, and to my left there's probably like 6 feet to the wall, and to my left there is a picture of something I can't remember, but it's like something you get like at Pier 1 Imports. And to my right there's a window that's probably like 4 by 8. And my best friend at the time, Jonathan Schulman, he was like, yeah, I'm not going to be a part of this because it involved a Ouija board.
So yeah, I totally get that too, man. Whenever people like want to bust out a Ouija board, I'm like, oh, word. Yeah, I have to go pee at my house where I live, not here.
Time to go. Like, he had I remember Jonathan having ghosts in his house. And that was always kind of weird. And there was an incident before this incident with the Ouija board where it like spun, and he like hacked it up and burnt it because it spelled death. And 7 people died in our school at the time. And it was really wild. So anyway, moving on.
Yo, man, like real bad, just setting the scene again, dude. All right. So like you're a teenager, right? At this time. All right, and we are at a girl's house. Like you don't know that well, or like just like a
no. I knew it really.
Oh, you knew it really well.
Yeah. Yeah. So she was like, the ghost that I talk to all the time. His name is Matt. He died in 1978. He got hit by a car leaving his house, and yeah, obviously died. And you know, of course, just being a rational human being, I was skeptical. You know, I was a skeptic, but at the same time, I'm like chilling in the bed with my girl. You know, like, and we're looking through like a scrapbook, right? And so everyone else goes into the living room and fucks with the Ouija board, and I can see Jonathan outside in the window smoking a cigarette, kind of pacing. You know, he's like making faces at us and stuff. You know, I hear them get frustrated. And I hear Rachel or Turtle start like shouting, like, do something. She was just, getting really frustrated because the Ouija board wasn't doing anything.
So is like Turtle, is this her house or like?
Yeah, it's her house.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's in the living room with probably like 5 people.
And how does she talk to the ghost Matthew? Like through the Ouija or like through some other means?
She said like she would speak to the ghost like when she was sleeping. Like it would like this ghost Matt would approach her.
That's so crazy. Almost every single person before we've talked about lucid dreaming.
It's one of those things that we kind of like, we're like, whatever, like whatever.
It's hard to believe in if you haven't like experienced it before,
Yeah, exactly. So in short, she comes in the bedroom and she screams, Matt, if you don't fucking do anything right now, I'm never going to talk to you again. And of course, like I look at her, like we're looking at a scrapbook, we're looking down, and I look at her when she walked in and said that. And in my peripheral, on my left-hand side, the framed picture flew off the fucking wall and hit me in the head.
Shut the fuck up.
Swear to God.
No gust of wind, no nothing, just straight fucking.
And I immediately looked at Jonathan in the window and like literally had that whole like cigarette like falling out of his mouth, like jaws.
So Jonathan saw it too.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to bring up to the listeners.
Fucking wild.
I want to bring up to the listeners. I've known Dominic for a long time, and Dominic may be a lot of things, but a liar he is not.
Negative.
So Jonathan, he's probably like maybe 120 pounds wet, like 5'2", runs in, and I'm like standing in shock. And also kind of like my head kind of hurts because I just got rocked by a picture. And
Phantom.
He carried me outside. And like I'm just in shock. And everybody was like, holy shit. That was fucking crazy. That was just crazy. And yeah, Rachel comes outside and she was like, I'm so sorry. Like I probably did this. Like he obviously doesn't like me talking to other guys. I was like, your ghost is racist.
Oh, was he a
fucking racist ghost?
Was he a white ghost? I mean, I guess all ghosts are like
no, they're transparent. They're not white necessarily. Get your fucking racist mind out of the gutter.
Did she really say that ghost is racist, or did you say that?
Yeah. I mean, like,
the ghost was just jealous. It sounds like
definitely something, man. Something was going on.
She had definitely developed. It sounds like she definitely developed a relationship with this ghost and this poltergeist, and like it got the ghost got real jealous of you being involved there and threw the picture on your head.
Dominic was such a player in high school.
It wasn't even dude, Dominic's always been such a player.
Dominic was such a player in high school that a poltergeist attacked him, dude.
Jesus. Yeah, right. If anybody was to be attacked by a poltergeist for being a player, it would be Dominic.
I was just chilling with my girlfriend, and like, that ghost need to move on and get over it, man.
Yeah, it's like you're like sitting there like, yo, ghost, you might as well just like back the fuck up off, dude, because like I'm just over here with like this other chick. I don't even need your chick, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's you pissed off a fucking like jealous ass ghost and it threw a fucking painting at you.
I mean, like it was probably like 6 to 7 feet away from the bed, and I remember
no earthquake, no fucking kind of weather at all, nothing.
What's that?
There's no kind of weather at all or anything that would suggest like anything else.
Well, I mean,
dude, he was in a bedroom. There were no weather. That was a ghost, dude.
Yeah, man. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Ouija board. She just screamed, "You don't do anything right now to prove that you're real," because we are all skeptics. I mean, like it's not like something just fell over. It flew off the wall. Like
she like called upon the spirit, and like Dominic was the perfect target because it was a racist ghost.
It was a racist ghost. It was jealous of the player.
And it was like, yo, I hate this dude's dreadlocks. I hate his suave attitude. Dominic, while we got you here, can you share another spooky story?
Yeah. Do you remember when I dated Crystal?
Hell yeah. I can't.
Okay. Of course.
She was awesome, dude.
Yeah. I mean, she like resonated a lot of like, just, I don't know. She was kind of like a crystal, man. Like, I remember just being with her. A lot of bad shit would happen and a lot of good shit. Like, we just attracted a lot of like weird energy. And I'm not going to, like, it kind of sounds like really hippie to say, but I mean, I really believe in the occult, and I really believe in some just the other, the spiritual world.
Absolutely.
And when I worked at the bakery, I ended up smoking a shit ton of weed. And
no.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, you were just experimenting though, so it wasn't like,
I don't want to like just say, all right, yeah, I was high, but I was high, So, and I was high at the bakery, and I went home high, and Crystal was laying on the couch, and she was asleep, and she was like, oh, I've been waiting for you. I'm like, I'm sorry, I've been, baking bread, getting high, and yeah, so I remember I carried her into bed, and she immediately passed out, and so I'm like, what do I want to do? Just kind of like laying there trying to go to sleep, but I couldn't really because I was super fucking high. So I started meditating, and I'm going through like this is like, I don't know if anyone out there who's listening who meditates or anything, like you literally can contact different worlds.
Oh yeah.
And because like I don't want to come off like this is some hippie bullshit, because
no, it's not.
Like, I remember like being in contact with like certain just very kind, warm spirits, right?
Absolutely.
And out of nowhere, these shadows start popping up. And I'm like, holy shit, this is like I have like this whole fear within me. And the only thing I can say like in like as a mantra is go away. This is not your home. Go away. This is not your home. And that was kind of like warding off the like they looked like Dementors from Harry Potter, like this soul-sucking shadow spirit. And I was just like, go away. This is not your home. And I wasn't saying it out loud. I was saying it in my mind, in my meditation. And Crystal, dead asleep, starts yelling, go away. This is not your home. Go away. This is not your home. And I was like,
crazy
shit. And I woke her up, and she was like, I was having a nightmare that these people were trying to abduct our souls. And like, so I'm like holding her, and I'm like, because she's like shook, right? And I'm like, I didn't even tell her what happened with me until like 2 weeks later. And then we actually talked about it, and she was like, yeah, like there was these shadow spirits like surrounding our bed, trying to get into my body. And I was like, that's exactly what I felt. And I mean, like I said, like I don't want to like downplay it by saying I was high, but if anyone actually smokes good weed, they know it's less to the other realm, the metaphysical.
Damn, Dominic, you brought the spook to the Halloween spooktacular. Go surreal. Peace, homie. Love you.
I love you guys. Congratulations again. Peace.
Thank you. Peace. And that was the Halloween Spooktacular. Thank you so much for coming to town, Zach.
My pleasure, man. It was such a fucking honor to be here with you and to do this Spooktacular.
I'll tell you one thing, man. A lot of people scared me tonight. I am so frightened, and I'm a little bit bummed that you got to like go back to California like right now, I guess, right?
Well, maybe in the next few days, but I'm glad I was here to hold your hand through all the scary things that happened tonight.
Hey, you're a real friend. And for everyone at home, if you want to reach me, you can go to myviewsaremyown.com or on Instagram at myviewsaremyown_podcast or on Twitter at myviews_podcast, or just email me at myviewsaremyown.podcast@gmail. Or if you really, really want to, you can stalk
Zach Wilkinson. I'm sure if you could hire like a really good
you can probably find me if you try hard enough, but I'm kind of elusive. Ooh.
You should find a spooky private detective to find Zach in California.
And I really hope you don't, but you probably could. So just take that as you will.
But before we go, I just want to say that if you do find Zach with your spooky private detective, you can go through his phone. You can find my personal phone number, and that's another way you can reach me. And that's pretty much the best ways to reach me right now.
Or if you want to find me in another realm, you can find me on Instagram at Chef Pterodactyl.
Like the animal.
Like the dinosaur.
All right. Here's a spooky song. Goodbye.